Well, Goshen is an interesting community that started out many years ago as a farming community and progressed over several years to be a bedroom community to surrounding towns, particularly Torrington, when manufacturing was a big thing in the turn of the century and going into probably 70s. And now we're kind of going back, if you will. So we have a lot of interesting farming, different farming, not so much dairy, but things like the vineyards.
So small town. I happen to know your daughter, and she's a great gal, and we were roommates many, many moons ago. And she said she's from Goshen, Connecticut. And I said, where's Goshen, Connecticut? And she brought me to this beautiful place, which is fantastic. You raised your family here. You served on the town government. You're a volunteer firefighter, as well as other hats that you wear. Why was this a good place to stay?
It was, for me, a wonderful place to have friends and relations. It was a good place for my business. It's been a joy to live here and to associate with the people in town. And
how about the schools? I know that it's a smaller school system, so the kids seem to know each other. Was that a good experience for your children?
Yeah, I think my kids would all say that they had a wonderful experience here. They probably would say perhaps that there was less diversity than they would have liked to have had, but that's only in hindsight. You know, it's one of those things that once you get out into the big world, you realize.
Tell us a little bit about some of the sites that people might not know about that Goshen has to offer.
We have 2 vineyards in town that draw a fair amount of people. Milk House Chocolates, which is a dairy, so they actually make chocolate from those cows.
Which is my favorite.
Which is really neat. And there are various small things around town. We have a fair amount of hiking trails that are either town trails or land trust trails. Great place to go in the fall for foliage. And we have 4 lakes. And a lot of people come to Goshen to utilize our lakes. The Goshen Agricultural Society runs the Goshen Fairgrounds, and there are a multitude of events that happen there, from our annual Goshen Fair, Labor Day weekend, 3-day fair, to there's a balloon festival actually coming back this year, a wine festival, jazz festival,
4-H fair,
a rodeo.
And what are some of the challenges, would you say, that you face as a selectman in a small town? People think, a small town, how many, issues can there be? I grew up in a small town, so I used to get that. But there's a lot on your plate, right?
Yeah, so it's a little bit more than chickens loose in the center of town. We have to deal with the whole idea of having a small school system, and the small school system being very an expensive proposition. We're part of a regional school system with 3 grammar schools in Warren, Morris, and Goshen, the 3 towns that make up that district. Each have their own grammar school, and then we have a high school. In Connecticut, there are 169 municipalities. Each are independent. We maintain our own roads, we maintain our own school systems. So those are the challenges on a day-to-day basis.
So if you were to make a pitch for people to come to Goshen, what would you say?
It's a great place to live. Friendly people, very open. We've been fortunate. Over the years, we had the Woodridge Lake development, and we've had a lot of development in town. So we have many folks who've come in from all over. It's a very interesting mix of people, and they brought their own talent. We have Goshen Community Care and Hospice, which is kind of unique to towns, where it's an organization that's been in existence now for probably 35 years or so, and it basically is volunteers taking care of townspeople who have either health needs or handicap needs, that sort of thing.
And that's what Goshen's about. It's small town community, neighbors helping neighbors. And so we have a tagline, we say Goshen is a town above all others. That's not snooty or anything like that, but Goshen Center is actually the highest elevation of a town center in the state of Connecticut. So, but we do think Goshen is a special place.
All right, Bob and Jim, thank you so much for joining us and giving us your perspective and telling us about your beautiful community.
Thank you.
You're very welcome, and thanks for having us.